Hello again, everyone. It is TJ, the Stereo-Bargainphile, and I am very pumped up today to finally bring you all the comparison test. A lot of the subscribers and viewers out there asked me which one of these three amplifiers, in my subjective opinion, sounds best. So this following last week, I tried out all 7 different sets of my speakers on all 3 of these amplifiers in front of you all, and so today I'm going to give you my subjective opinion of which one sounds best. On the top we have the IOTAVX-STACK SA3 PA3 Integrated Amp Power Amp Stack. In the middle we have the PIONEER ELITE SX-N30 High Res Class AB Receiver, and on the bottom we have Emotiva's BasX line. We have the PT-100, which is the preamplifier, and on the bottom that is the Emotiva BasX A300 power amplifier. So I'm first going to start off with comparing the PIONEER ELITE SX-N30 to the Emotiva BasX combo, and I'm going to try to do this very quick for you all. Okay, let's get this comparison test on. First up, as you all see over here on your all's left hand side, I have the PIONEER ELITE SX-N30. Today, in my subjective opinion, I'm going to be comparing against Emotiva's entry line, the BasX line, and this is basically their combo. On the top you have the 2-channel preamplifier. Here on the bottom you have the 2-channel power amplifier. So I just want to go over something real quick. Over here on your left hand side, this is a receiver. Back in 2015 to the end of 2018, the PIONEER ELITE SX-N30 sold for $799 US. And this is basically an all-in-one solution, meaning you get a lot more built inside. You get Bluetooth, you get Wi-Fi, you get a built-in streamer. Here in the front, as you can see, you get where you can hook up mass storage drive, memory stick in the front of it. It does decode with the built-in DAC and the processing inside. It does decode all the way up to DSD 5.6. Whereas the Emotiva, they want more after into sound. It don't come with all the features that the PIONEER has. The Emotiva BasX combo, the total price for the preamp and the amplifier is $700 US. So yes, the PIONEER is $100 more. But more of a focus when you get into separate systems is they focus more on that sound quality. And overall, let's go ahead and state how powerful each of them are. The PIONEER over here on your left hand side is 85 watts at 8 ohms. It's 100 watts at 6 ohms. I could not find nothing online what the rating is on 4 ohms. But I will tell you it has a true switching mode. I can go inside here through the menu and I can switch it over, you know, from 8 ohms, 4 ohms, or 6 ohms. And it's not for UL testing purposes. I can actually hear the relays inside kick over, and I can hear the difference in the power. That's a pretty cool feature that PIONEER came out with. PIONEER does have 5 analog inputs in the back, where, you know, the Emotiva, it only has 3. So this was just basically an all-in-one. The PIONEER has 4 digital inputs in the back, 2 coaxial, 2 toslinks, where, you know, the PT-100 here on top, it's only got 2 digital inputs. Both of them have detachable power cords. The Emotiva-COMBO, again, it has 150 watts at 8 ohms. It has supposedly 300 watts at 4 ohms. It weighs a total of 35 pounds. The preamplifier itself is on top here is 10 pounds, and the bottom amplifier is 25 pounds. And I think the PIONEER ELITE is right at 21 pounds. So let's go ahead and get into the sound difference, because they sound completely, totally different. The PIONEER ELITE SX-N30 is on the warm side of neutral, where the Emotiva is on the cool side of neutral. The power, there is a big difference in the power. The Emotiva has a lot more power, so you get a bigger sense of scale. And the instrument separation is a lot better with the Emotiva. Like I was saying before, it is more focused on music quality than being loaded with a lot of different features. That's what you get when you compare a receiver to, a separate system. Even though these are around, about the same price. Basically, the Pioneer Elite SX-N30 does sound good on its own. Don't get me wrong at all. But we're going to start out with the low end, comparing each other. On the low end, the Emotiva BasX combo, it does have more authority. It has more power. It controls and got a little bit better grip than what the Pioneer Elite SX-N30 does. Now in the mid-range and the lower top end frequencies, mostly in your vocals, I will say, even though the Emotiva has a little bit more of a forward sound, the Emotiva, the vocals, in my opinion, sound a lot better. And that may have to do with the background noise is a lot darker with the Emotiva, which helps, bring those details out. Now we get to the top end sound. And with the Pioneer Elite, it has more of, a small U-shaped sound, where the Emotiva is more of a U. You get a little bit better of that mid-range with the Emotiva overall. Now we get into the top end. We get up to your highs. I will say the Pioneer Elite, surprisingly, is a little bit laid back, and it actually has a little bit more meat on the bone than the Emotiva does. And I know that sounds surprising to you all, but like I was saying, the Emotiva, it has that forward, sound to it, but sometimes it can sound a little thin in that top end. But it is very lively. It has a much more lively in the top end than the Pioneer. And overall, having that dark background, yes, overall, my subjective opinion, the Emotiva BasX combo does sound better than a Pioneer Elite SX-N30. I think both of them are a great deal for their price point. If you're somebody looking, into an all-in-one solution, I will tell you, the Pioneer Elite SX-N30 got replaced, and they put the nail in the coffin for me. It got replaced with the new Onkyo 8390. Check out that new 8390, you all. It's like $1,000, and they don't even sell it in America. Probably would maybe not sell too good in America anyways. But anyways, the Emotiva, it had a much better, larger sound stage to it. And yeah, overall, the sound was better with the Emotiva combo. So now, it's time to compare the IOTAVX SA3 PA3 Integrated Amp Power Amp Stack to the Emotiva combo. So hold on for just 1 second, please. Okay, here we go. The IOTAVX Stack versus the Emotiva BasX combo. Now, the Emotiva, I just want to go ahead and say the SA3, the top piece here, that is an integrated amplifier that can be used as a preamp also. And so down on the bottom, you have the upgradable PA3, that is your power amp. Basically, with the IOTAVX, you're getting two basically mono amplifiers that you can bridge both of them. And when you do that, you get 100 watts at 8 ohms, and you get 180 watts at 4 ohms. But you're getting two power supplies. You're getting 215 volts going to the back of both amplifiers. Whereas, I just want to put this out there real quick, where the Emotiva has just got one power supply, but it's 150 watts at 8 ohms and 300 watts at 4 ohms, supposedly. But anyways, they are closer in their power ratings than what their power ratings would tell you on paper. I want to go ahead and start off by saying I must get this out there. The IOTAVX stack, the complete stack, is $900 to $950 new US. It really depends on the top piece, the integrated amp, the SA3. When it's on sale, it's $499 all by itself. And by itself, it is 45 watts at 8 ohms and 90 watts at 4 ohms. It might be 100 watts at 4 ohms. I'd have to go back and look at that. But anyways, when you do the power amp upgrade, the PA3 upgrade, you do go to 100 watts at 8 ohms and 180 at 4. I hate to keep repeating that, but what I'm getting at is the Emotiva basic combo is $700 brand new. So I want y'all to take into account that the IOTAVX stack is $200 to $250 more new compared to the Emotiva. But really, both of them are really great design. Both of them are outstanding for the money, but they have two totally different sounds to them. And I'm gonna get, and like I told you all at the first, I used 7 different sets of speakers. Let me go over them speakers real quick for you all. I used the JBL Studio 530, the JBL Studio 580s. I used the KLISPCH RP-160Ms. I used the KEF Q100s. I used my PIONEER HPM 100s, vintage speakers from 1978. And then I used PIONEER FS52's tower speakers. But anyways, let's just go ahead and get into the sound quality. I've already done a review on both of them if y'all need to see specs or anything. The IOTAVX is about 30 pounds, and the total with these two units together with the Emotiva, it's 35 pounds. But I'd really like to put them on some scales because they feel like the same weight to me. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the sound quality. The IOTAVX stack, it's more of a neutral sound. It's not too warm, it's not too cool. It's very well balanced, the complete stack. Whereas the Emotiva BasX A300, it's on the cool side of neutral. It is a little bit forward sound, and it's very lively, very lively. And you know, one thing that is very important is matching up your amplifiers with speakers to make that good synergy. But anyways, I'm going to start out over my overall opinion with all those speakers that I used. Okay, we're going to start in the low end. In the low end, even though that the Emotiva says it has more power, says it, you know, 150 watts at 8 ohms, 300 watts at 4 ohms, where the IOTAVX is 100 watts at 8 ohms and 180 watts at 4 ohms. Well, on the low end, I give it to the IOTAVX stack. You know, having 2 different power supplies, having a total of 54,200 high filter capacitors inside. The bottom end has a lot more grip, has a lot more authority over the Emotiva. It's just a lot more accurate. The Emotiva, even compared to the IOTAVX, sometimes on some music can sound a little muddy compared, and I know that's surprising because the ratings of the Emotiva says it has more power, right? Well, you taking 2 power supplies of the IOTAVX and you only got 1 power supply with the Emotiva. That kind of gives the IOTAVX, you know, it gives it an upper hand on the Emotiva, especially at low volumes. The bass is outstanding with the IOTAVX, especially for its price point. Now we get into the mid-range. The mid-range on the Emotiva combo, like I was telling you all before, it can, you know, the mid-range and the bottom of the top end. Because I'm going to be talking about the vocals also. It can be a little bit thin sounding, a little lively, cool, forward, where the IOTAVX, you know, it gets away from having that U-shaped sound, boosted bass, boosted treble. You know, it has got very good balance. You know, the bass doesn't overcome the mid-range, the treble doesn't overcome the bass. You know, it is very, very well balanced. Now we get into the vocals. What I was telling y'all during my review of the Emotiva BasX combo, I was telling you the vocals, the vocals could be a little bit too forward sometimes. And the Emotiva, the mid-range, it's for its price point, it's very accurate, very clear. Again, it's not too warped. You know, the male vocals don't sound too chesty at all. Just quite surprised with the IOTAVX stack. But again, remember the IOTAVX stack is $200 to $250 more new than the Emotiva BasX combo. Now we get up into the very top end sound, the highs. Again, like I was telling you, the Emotiva is very lively, you know, in that top end, where the IOTAVX stack, it's very balanced, very neutral. It has never, really been too fatiguing to me unless I just have a bad recording, which I will say a bad recording sounds bad on both of them. Neither one of them covered that up. Both of them being under $1,000, that's to be expected. So overall, I feel like that the IOTAVX stack digs into those micro details, a little bit better, about a level or a half a level better than the Emotiva does. I mean, it really digs into them tones, and the IOTAVX, the more time I spend with it, the more impressed I am with it. I just can't believe how I can just dig into those soundtracks that I'm playing through it. It is very, very surprising. And with all my speakers, yes, it matched up better, in my opinion. Sounded better on those 7 sets of speakers. But there was one set of speakers that I got that the Emotiva did give the IOTAVX a run for its money. But the IOTAVX stack, having that, that darker, quieter background, I think that's what really helped it out a lot to sound better. It's more of I guess, an audiophile-ish amplifier on a budget, if that's even such a word. Gosh, I got that bright light on me, y'all. But anyways, yeah, this the IOTAVX, the sound stage is a lot better. I'm getting better, holographics. I'm getting a little bit of that magic sparkle, when I'm playing those KEF speakers. I could really tell a big difference. But the one speaker that held its own with the Emotiva was the KLISPCH Reference Premier 160 monitor bookshelf speakers I had. I mean, there wasn't that much of a difference compared to all the other speakers. I mean, it was actually pretty close. In my opinion, they are both winners. And one thing I want to say real quick, when you use the digital inputs auto, the IOTAVX stack, it has a Wolfson DAC built inside, where the Emotiva-COMBO has the Analog Devices 1955 DAC chip built inside. Both of them still, sound a little bit digital. There's no way getting around that under a pre-$1,000, setup like this. But anyways, yeah, I give it overall to the IOTAVX stack. And that's really to be expected. It is $200 to $250 more new. And just to go ahead and compare the remotes real quick, I will say I love this remote to the IOTAVX stack. And you can see they even included future audio components they're going to come out with the IOTAVX. It's very simple, very easy to use. I like the lights better in the front of the IOTAVX stack. Now, I'm not wanting to take anything away from Emotiva at all. Ray Dennison and his team of engineers with the Emotiva, for $700, they did a great job. If he was told, hey, we're going to sell it for $200 to $250 more than what we thought we were going to, we're going to sell it for about $900 to $950. Then maybe the Emotiva, would have had a better run with the IOTAVX stack. But in my opinion, Eon and at IOTA Electronics, one of the main engineers and the owner, he done an awesome job with the IOTAVX stack. Heard another reviewer say it's basically a Nakamichi. I'm not going to get all into that, but there's another reviewer out there that reviewed the IOTAVX SA3 PA3 stack, and that is Sean at Zero Fidelity. And if you haven't seen his review on the IOTAVX stack, then I would certainly do that. I will tell you this top piece, the SA3, just the integrated amp by itself, because when you go to buy it, you can start out just buying the integrated amp at 45 watts at 8 ohms and 100 watts at 4 ohms. It has really shocked me how it can dig low on efficient speakers. My speakers, most of them, that are easier to drive, that don't have big, huge motor structures. I'm getting ready to review the JBL Studio 580 tower speakers. Each tower speaker has two 6.5-inch woofers and a 1-inch compression driver horn-loaded tweeter. And I was really shocked that the SA3 drove it all on its own just fine. That really impressed me a lot. I will say the SA3, you know, the integrated amp all by itself, it's very balanced. Has that neutrality, like I said before, it has that clean, crisp clarity with that good hint of that vintage sound. And really like the IOTAVX a whole lot, you all. And that is my #1 choice. And till next time, this is TJ, the Stereo-Bargainphile. IOTAVX stack, huh? We'll see about that. Coming soon, vintage against new age.